Welcome back to Match Play. We've covered a lot so far, depending on your perspective of covering a lot. It's really been a one-sided affair so far in this championship bout between Allison and Andy. But Allison, you're not done yet. We still have 4 more big topics to talk about, and we will get right into those. Talking first about Manny Ramirez. He's calling it a career, Andy. He was tested positive for steroids again. He's facing a 100-game suspension, and he's just going to pack it in, call it a career.
Okay, I mean, why not? At this point in the season, he's batted, I think, 1 for his first 17 at-bats. He did not get things going with the Rays. Then you talk about this positive test that took place during spring training. Second offense, it'll be a 100-game suspension. At this point, we all know that Manny is not the same Manny we remember from 5 years ago. It's a different Manny, and I think it's probably for the best that he's going to retire. He's going to take his father on a nice vacation, go to Spain, go to Brazil. The question is, what does this do to Manny's legacy? Because once again, he tests positive for a banned substance. You think about it, he's one of the best pure right-handed hitters we've seen in the past 20 to 25 years. Now, I think back to the Cleveland Indian days, really, before he became huge in Boston, when he was just turning into that budding superstar. He was just a great all-around player. He still got it going. It's going to be a shame to see him go, but at the same time, compared to the 100-game suspension, I think it's the right call.
Yeah, and I mean, it's not like the Rays were really in contention, or people had them in contention at the beginning of the season. Shut up. Because they weren't. I mean, they're 2-8 to start out, although they did beat the Red Sox last night by a lot. However, you have to think that maybe if he was playing for a better team, he might stay and play and sit out the 100 games. But, yeah, I don't think it's worth it with the Rays.
Did you know that he played for the Cleveland Indians?
No. You already won. It doesn't matter.
You talked about Tampa Bay. They are the reigning American League East champions.
Lost a lot of.
So, all right, moving on right along. We're just going to push this one out of the way and keep going. The NBA playoff picture has finally taken shape. We've been talking about it for weeks here on Match Play. Finally, it is set in stone. We've got Chi-Town and San Antonio as our conference winners, clinching the home court advantage. The field is set. Allison, what's your biggest surprise of these playoffs? Like, what are you looking at? Is there someone surprising that got left out that you wouldn't have expected at the start of the season? And also, who do you have winning this whole thing at the end?
Well, I was surprised that the Suns did not make the playoffs this year. Normally, I know they're getting a little bit older, but they are normally a faster team. They did lose Stoudemire. However, I think the sleeper team this year is Oklahoma. I really have Oklahoma and Chicago in the final, which I know some people probably think is crazy. But I think Chicago is going to wind up winning it all with Derrick Rose getting the MVP.
I'm kind of surprised you just called Oklahoma City a sleeper team. You think
They're
about
4.
Think about Westbrook. You think about but they have Kevin Durant, one of the most solid players we see in the game today. They tried to make a run last year, it just didn't quite work out for them. I don't consider them a sleeper. You talk about surprises for me. I'm going with the New York Knicks, especially after that Carmelo trade. You didn't know if things were going to work out. I didn't know if Stoudemire was going to be able to produce on a game-to-game basis without getting injured. They finally came together in the right way. They're at the 6th seed right now, I believe. It's going to be an interesting matchup. They will face Boston in the first round, the Celtics, in a good old-fashioned East Coast rivalry. It's going to be a good matchup. Overall, I got to go with the Lakers still. I'm still feeling the Kobe Bryant. They have slid into the playoffs, but they've showed in years past when they do the same thing. They can turn it on come playoff time.
The Lakers are a perennial threat to win it all. They're always in contention, it seems. Allison, also Oklahoma City. It is a pretty mainstream pick, I think. It's something that it's a solid pick, I think. It's good. They've got a good chance, as good as anyone, I think, really, of winning the whole thing. Moving on now, we're going to take a look at Matt Kenseth in NASCAR. His winless streak has been snapped 2 years, over 76 races by number 17 in the DeWalt car. And Andy, is Mattitude back?
Yes. You know what? The thing with Matt Kenseth is he's never a guy that's going to go out and win 5-10 races a year. He's a guy that's going to drive consistent. You're going to see consistent top 5 and top 10 finishes. And I got a feeling that's coming back as you talk about the victory. Led 169 of the 334 laps in the race on Saturday. His first win since he went out in California, as you said, 2 years and 76 races ago. Very similar racetracks. It's a good win for him. More importantly, a very good win for Roush Fenway, because now, once again, Matt Kenseth can step up with Greg Biffle and Carl Edwards, and we can see Roush get back to being another dominant dominant car owner in the business.
Yeah, you talked about his teammate Carl Edwards. He was actually sick, had a little bit of a struggle during the race. Even though he did get enough points, he is now the leader in points on the year in NASCAR. So that is good for them. And that was his 19th career victory.
It's impressive because you talk about Kenseth. He's a guy that back in the beginning of this decade, think back to 2003, 2004, he was a guy that was contending for championships every year. Fallen off a little bit as you saw the other stars like Carl Edwards step up, Greg Biffle step up. And that Roush machine, they've had some woes the past couple of years, but they have gotten things going. They've gotten everybody going in the right direction. I wouldn't be surprised to see Hendrick and Roush fight for the championship once again this season.
Impressive argument again by Andy. Allison,
Yeah.
good facts raised again. You've had steady improvement through this segment over the second one, but
No.
we're not going to talk about that. We're going to move on straight into the Masters, a tradition unlike any other. And Allison, you've got a lot of ground to make up, I'm not going to lie, so I'm just going to yield to you. Go for it.
Well, I'm going to start off by saying what a great finish to that Masters. I was very interested. It seemed like a lot of people were making a run. Tiger Woods all of a sudden started making a run. And Rory McIlroy had a really tough day. I mean, the kid, I think, is 20 years old. He just had a horrible day at Augusta on Sunday. Something he's going to have to really build off of and learn from. And I'm just going to let Andy talk since he's already won.
You think about, I have a feeling that this 2011 Masters is going to be another one where you don't remember the winner as much as you remember the collapse. Think back to 1999. I can't tell you who won the British Open. I can tell you that Van de Velde collapsed on the 18th, shot a 7, ended up losing that tournament. Think back to 06, the U.S. Open at Winged Foot. Jeff Ogilvy won the tournament, but who remembers that? Not a lot of people, because they remember Phil Mickelson bombing his tee shot into the hospitality tent on the 18th tee. It's going to be another one of those things. McIlroy, from 10 through 12, goes +6. He was in the lead by 4 to start off Sunday, ends up shooting an 80 in that final round and goes down. I think that's going to be the story, and the main sub-story, I believe, even before the winner, it's going to be the play of Tiger Woods when he was in the Sunday Red.
Do you think that Tiger Woods has kind of gotten over that hump and is going to start winning more tournaments now after a great day on Sunday?
It'll be interesting. I don't know if he's there yet because there are still a lot of putts that he has missed. He saw some really bad putting. I think he probably very easily could have been down around 12, 13 under if he would have hit a couple of his putts going into Thursday and Friday. Still, all in all, a very good day for Tiger, but he's got to learn to put it together for 4 days if he wants to win a tournament.
Well, we talk about putting things together, and Andy, today, I'm not going to lie, you put together the complete package. You used the first 2 rounds. You have played this game in a way that I don't think I've ever seen it played. You used the first 2 rounds to just beat Allison into a pulp, and then used the last round to build up your own argument, solidifying the championship. It was an impressive run.
You know, you got to come up with a strategy. I know I was talking to my training staff before this matchup, going into the locker room, talking about building up to this match. We knew it was going to be big. I knew the biggest thing, I faced Allison many times, was to get her off of her own game. I thought I did that. Let's be honest. Team Bring It brought it right here on this set.
Allison, rebuttal or concession speech?
I'm sorry. I apologize. That was horrible. He definitely won. This match would have ended in the first round with the tap out, but yeah, it was bad. I'm sorry. It was horrible.
All right. Well,
Am I allowed to?
Yeah,
I'm
you
gonna
can
get
take
awarded
your
this,
belt.
or can I just
Yeah.
take
yes,
it?
you can reclaim
You can
your
take
belt.
it. You're good.
Our match play champion, Andy Walter. I'm not going to throw it all on you today, Allison, because you have been doing a lot of preparation for the NHL preview show, or playoff preview show, which you can watch here on CUTV, hopefully in the very near future. So you were working on that a lot of the day.
Yeah.
You really didn't have a lot of prep time. So I'll cut you a little bit of a break. But Andy, once again, impressive win.
Great showing. Once again, as I said it before, champs here, ladies and gentlemen. I don't think I'm going anywhere anytime soon. It's a good win. Thank you, obviously. Great host. I think you called it down the middle. You did exactly what you needed to do. The officials never get the credit, ladies and gentlemen. Let's give a hand to this man, Mr. Wilmore.
Well, you have to think, whenever the argument finally comes down to chance from Homeward Bound, you're pretty much already done. So that was a great win. A great episode of Match Play, I think. Now, that'll do it for this edition of Match Play. Don't forget, you can check us out online anytime at youtube.com by searching for CUTV Sports. Also, send us your fan topics, matchplaycutv@gmail.com. That'll do it for this edition of Match Play. For Andy Walter, Allison Steinheiser. My name's Will Moore. For everyone in the control room, we'll see you next time. Thank you for watching.